Ooh, that's the wrong one.
Oh my.
I keep doing that. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Welcome to the Masquerade. This time we are on prequel episode number 6, Old Friends, New Friends, and Funeral Homes, featuring Sav as Petal and JSN as Omar, or Mr. Brown. This session is actually going to take place about 9 to 12 months before the start of our session. So, Petal, that would be about a year into you acclimating to your new home with the pack.
Okay.
You are still having a lot of those issues, those growing pains, the desire to kind of rebel against that nature that you have of not wanting to eat meat as the vegan you've chosen to be. And it's been causing problems, like we had discussed, right?
Right.
And there are some members of the pack who think that Rick is taking too much of a chance on you, and that you're a liability, and that you either need to get with the program or get gone, essentially.
Okay.
And that is actually how we are going to start the session. We find ourselves over at Audubon Zoo. You are waking up with a righteous headache. And yet again, as you wake up, you are greeted by the friendly face of your buddy Hank.
Oh.
And he's just vibing, having a snack, looking at you like, really? This again?
Does he say anything to me, or does he just give me a look?
Are you going to speak with animals, or are you just gonna do sign language?
Probably sign language, because my head hurts really bad.
Okay. What do you sign to him?
I don't want to hear it.
He signs back. You look like shit.
I still look better than you, or something, but like not seriously. Like in a joking way.
He turns around and just bends over and moons you. Just full ass to the glass. And you just hear...
No. All the problems in my life are being caused by boons. I'm so sick of this.
You hear a voice from where you know the doorway is to this, like, enclosure. It's a female voice, and she says, "Don't worry, more than just you is getting sick of this."
Can I, like, lift my head up? I assume I've been, like, laying on my back. Can I lift my head up and look towards the door and see who it is?
You see a young, very tall, muscular, blonde-haired woman with tattoos, who you know to be Lydia. She is a member of the pack. She's a werebear. And she's holding a sack that is like dripping blood on the floor.
I appreciate you bearing with me, Lydia. What do you want?
I want you to get your shit
Hang
together.
around.
And she chucks the bag of meat at you. And it just plops wetly right in front of you.
I'm trying to get it figured out. I almost have it. I think I almost have it figured out. Like, I think I just need to get used to it.
You don't have shit figured out. You're in this room at least once a week. And someone's got to come take care of you and look after you, take time out of their lives, because you don't want to just do what you need to do to keep yourself healthy and feed your nature and feed your inner animal. You wouldn't starve a pet by making them eat lettuce. A dog, a cat, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't just feed them lettuce and legumes. You'd give them what they need. What's the fucking difference?
Pets deserve to be fed nutritious stuff. Even if I don't think it's worth other animals' lives. For me.
And so you think that everyone else should just have to pay for your bullshit because all of the sudden you can't reconcile the difference between the fact that you're not a human anymore and you have different needs physiologically, and that's a stretch, mind you, because people who think that humans don't need proteins and meats are interesting individuals. I'll leave it at that. You can't reconcile the fact that you're not human anymore. You are another animal, and animals eat animals. It's part of the food chain and part of nature. And you are part of the fucking food chain now. And you need to get with the program. She has advanced across the room at this point and is standing like directly in front of you with the sack of meat in between the two of you.
Just because I'm a human doesn't mean I have to act like a monster. Or just because I'm not a human anymore doesn't mean I have to act like a monster. I can figure it out.
Go ahead and make me a dexterity save. You are unable to avoid it as she, almost faster than you can blink, has closed the distance and picked you up by your shirt. You see, she's not like full shifting into like hybrid form, but you can see her hands starting to. You can feel the claws like in your shirt and your jacket. You can see her teeth sharpening and this like look in her eyes that is not quite normal human eyes anymore, and a growl in her voice as she holds you in the air and says, I can show you a fucking monster. If that's what you think we are, I could show you what it's like to be one. Or you can understand that we are not monsters. We've just come to be more in touch with our animalistic side, that primal nature where all people originally came from. before we became this civilized society. I can show you a fucking monster, Petal. And she like spits your name, almost. But that's not what we are. And the fact that you keep talking about yourself like that and referring to yourself in that way means that you're referring to the rest of us in that way. And that is so uniquely disrespectful to Rick and everyone else who keeps sticking their fucking necks out for you. Do you think Rick's a monster? All the things he's done? Or Rosalie? Or Anders? Or any other member of the pack who's sat with you through your bullshit, helped you out, put themselves in danger on a hunt where you were starving and couldn't control your shift when the moon turned? Are they monsters?
No.
Well, there's not really...
I'm super fucking nervous. I'm like being up. I'm like... I don't know how big she is, but I assume I'm like hanging off the ground or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, you are feet in the air. Like right now, she's like... with her like starting to shift a bit, she's pushing like somewhere between like 6'4" and 6'8".
Okay.
She is a big woman, and when she starts to shift into bear form, she gets bigger. So if they're not monsters, what's the difference?
I'm not right. There's something like different. I don't know.
Oh, because you can do more than one special trick, where the rest of us are relegated to a singular one. And so that must make you a monster, because you have different aspects. It sounds like a whole lot of cope, Petal. That's what it sounds like. And it sounds like you being a petulant fucking child, and it's no wonder that Bella hasn't been back to fucking see you.
Can I kick at her?
I want you to go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage. So I'm assuming you're angry now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pissed.
Okay, so a 4 for a 9. That is not going to save. I need you to roll me a D100 to see how you lash out.
Wait. Hold on.
At the bottom of the...
I kept accidentally adding like more D100.
With an 88. Almost as if sensing what is about to happen, you hear Hank start losing it, beating on the glass next door. Just... and just hammering on the glass. Your vision goes green for a moment. And all of a sudden, you're on your knees on the ground. You look up, and Lydia is lying on the ground, clutching her shoulder, like in between, like not all the way to her neck, like still on like her trap muscle, but really close to where it could have been the neck. And she is somewhere between a howl of pain and tears. And as you come back to yourself and see this, you feel the sensation of your tail morphing back into your body.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm like, Lydia, I'm so fucking sorry. And I like go and I start banging on the door.
As you start banging on the door, you look back over your shoulder, and Lydia's eyes have rolled back into her head. She has started to foam at the mouth and convulse.
Is anybody coming to the door? Like, I'm trying to like kick it down and like screaming at the top of my lungs.
So you and Hank are both just going nuts in these enclosures. Rick and two other people show up. Petal, what's going on?
I can't really talk, like I'm kind of like freaking out, so I just like point at Lydia and I'm like, I did it. She said she was talking about Bella, and I'm so sorry.
Fuck! He pushes you out of the way, runs up to Lydia. What did you do?
I think it was my tail.
Okay. He grabs her like by the sides of the head, and you hear him as much as you feel him. Almost like he's not trying to use his alpha presence to command. He's trying to push Lydia out of this mental state that she's in, where it's stopping her from attempting to change, in order to get her to change, to help try and speed up her regenerative healing. And you feel, Lydia, I need you to focus. You need to change. You see she kind of like calms down. The change starts to overtake her. She spasms and it reverts, and she goes back to full human form. He goes, the change can't take. She's not fucking healing. Fuck. 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 Anders, go get the van. Petal, grab her legs.
I grab her legs.
The two of you haul her off to a van. You then screech out of the zoo, heading into New Orleans. Do you have anything that you say on your way there?
I think I want to be like, try and explain myself and apologize, but I don't. I'm also like scared of what's happening, so I think I'm just gonna like. Maybe start to kind of try and apologize again. Like I don't. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it's a little late for I didn't mean to, eh? Let's just hope that he can help her. And you guys speed through the night, through the French Quarter, to a little funeral home. Anders pulls you guys up to the back door. And from wherever, I've got you placed on the map just in a room. Omar, wherever you are, you hear just pounding on the back door where deliveries are brought in.
Okay. I rushed over to answer.
I'll move you over. And I don't know why the lighting on this map is so weird. I'm just gonna
Right on here.
Oh, I didn't change it over, my bad. I'm completely out of it and dumb.
All good. All good.
You open the back door to see Rick, the leader of the New Orleans pack. Mr. Brown, I apologize for the late call. However, we need some assistance. One of my members has been poisoned, most likely. Scorpion venom. Her healing factor is not taking over. She's not able to shift in order to boost it. We don't know what to do.
All right, let's bring her in. I can't see the map, by the way.
Try and refresh.
Like, other parts are lit, but the place I'm in isn't lit.
Because it should be good to go to where all of it's lit up. Make sure I refresh.
My part's all lit up. Or
Oh,
my map's all lit up.
All right, then that's just about it.
You're good. I changed it like during. I'm gonna go ahead and.
Okay, I can see the person at least. Oh. Nice.
Here, can you see the room that you guys are in?
I can't see any of it, but
What the shit?
I'm sorry. I can see over here, and I can see over here.
That's why your vision range. Did that fix anything?
Nah.
That is so strange.
Yeah. Hold on, let me refresh it. Sorry.
I say, because when I click on your token, I don't have any vision issues, so it's not the token.
Yeah, I tried to walk over to her, but I walked into a wall of hers. Oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. I'm looking at this. I can see it on the screen, but okay, hold on. No, I can't see it, but that's fine. Will it be a problem if I can't see?
I mean, you can just go based off of the stream if you'd like to, and
Okay.
and we can just move your token for you from there.
Right.
So you guys bring her into one of your treatment / preparation rooms, where you deal with the bodies of the living and the dead. And go ahead and give me a medicine check if you would like.
For sure.
With a 14, as you start to look her over, you get a good look at the wound. There is a pretty deep stab wound into this woman's shoulder, just behind the collarbone. There's a chance there might be some, like, jugular or arterial involvement in, like, the subclavian artery, things like that. And as you look at it, you can almost see where her healing factor is trying to close the wound, but just as quickly as it tries to close the wound, if not faster, whatever poison or venom hit her here in whatever made this puncture wound is necrotizing the tissue. And so it's essentially like a healing and death cycle that's just rotating. And it's probably a good thing that this woman has lycanthropic regeneration, because if she did not, then there's a chance like her entire shoulder would have been eaten away by now. And that she may not have been alive by the time she got to you.
Okay. Whatever venom this is, it's very aggressive. Do I have like? Can I check for antivenoms or something?
You go ahead and give me just a D100 to see if you would have an antivenom that would help deal with this in stock.
Or, that was the wrong one. Sorry.
That's a really
close.
weird. That's a really weird shaped D100.
I did it again. Alright, hold on. Wait, shit. It better be this one.
It is that one.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was 100.
Was it not? What was it?
That's a 1. And
Oh.
we're gonna go ahead and pause on that for just a second, because that's a little bit too big for us to cover while they're in a ad break. Wow.
You got ads on for subscribers?
I mean, there's only 2 of you, so I hadn't turned them off yet. But that is the first one on a D100 that I've seen in a while. In a while. Yeah.
Well, at least I wasn't trying to fix her when I rolled it.
Yeah, that is true. At least you weren't trying to fix her when you rolled that.
I really thought that was the 100.
No, so you need a 10 and a 0 for a 100.
I see.
Or a... Yeah. Yeah, I think 10, 10 and a 0.
All good.
Yeah, one more minute. Oh, I sent him a map, a screenshot of the whole map, so he could at least see everything.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason I just can't see the middle room.
Maybe they don't exist.
I can't see the right room, actually. That's okay. There's a lot going on here that I can't see.
Luckily, you don't need all of those.
Yep.
I tried to split the difference with the music this time between lo-fi and jazz. This is it's a 80s Tokyo funk lo-fi playlist.
True.
And it's being played by a cat in a spaceman outfit.
Nice.
Welcome back, everybody. So for the first time in a long time, a 1 has been rolled on that D100, which means you most definitely do not have an antivenom that would handle scorpion stings of this caliber. In fact, you don't know that you've ever heard of a scorpion sting causing tissue to necrotize. That's something that you know is seen in brown recluse venom, which is native to this area. However, scorpions, that's new. So you are going to have to potentially try and create one from scratch.
Okay. Do we have the scorpion that attacked her or hurt her?
Side eye at Rick. I don't know who this guy is. So.
Yeah, well, I guess technically we've got the scorpion that did it to her. If the scorpion's able to handle itself and bring its tail back out, did Petal, like, grab the bag of meat out of, like, shame and eat the meat in the back of the van on the way over?
I don't think so. I think I was panicking too much. And I had to grab her legs and stuff. But maybe I could have... Maybe there was some in the car. I don't know. But I didn't think about that.
Rick kind of knowingly...
Does Omar have me?
That was... Rick kind of knowingly looks at Petal, understanding the concern of trying to shift while you have not eaten, since that was part of what led to this in the first place, and not wanting to put any more people in danger. He looks at Mr. Brown and says, Mr. Brown, I'm not sure if you've got any meat laying around. I'm sure there's some of other varieties, but
you mean food, right?
Yeah. Do you have? I mean, technically, when in Rome, but do you have any non-human on hand by chance?
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
You're with her. You mind if I go nip back to the freezer and?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So he's gonna disappear. He'll come back with like a half frozen chunk of ground beef and just without even looking at Petal, just hands it to him as he walks through the door.
I hold it and I look at it and I like close my eyes and I kind of start to cry a little bit, but I just close my eyes and like look up and then just try to eat it as fast as I can. Without like
the fact that it's half frozen makes that even more difficult. For some reason you've noticed that there's like a sweet spot in temperature. Whereas like when you were younger, your family making meals with cooked meat, you remember that was like how meat tasted best before you went vegan. Now, however, if it's cooked too far, it's not great. If it's cold, not great. It's like a sweet spot in the middle, like right around 98.6. Or however hot the kids be running these days.
I'm like crying. I'm like, do you have a microwave?
And And like it being frozen is like really bad. Like it's crunchy, like, but you're able to get it down after struggling for a while. And you immediately feel way better. I am going
I
to
wipe my hands on my pants, and I'm like embarrassed.
You see Rick and both of the other two pack members in the room roll their eyes at you at this. Your look of embarrassment, and Rick kind of just crosses his arms and goes, "Well then, waiting on you, sunshine."
Okay, is like, would they be able to like hold my arms or something and like face me in a like? How are we gonna collect it? Like, I don't know how fast I can pull it out. I don't know if I can pull it out safely.
Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw again. This time flat. To see how well you're able to control your shift. Having just eaten and knowing that if you don't do this and do it now, Lydia's gonna die and it's your fault. You don't just shift partially, you turn way past hybrid form, fully into a giant scorpion just squatted on the floor. Still in full control.
Oh, okay. Good.
Well, that's new.
Yeah, you haven't seen a third of it, mate.
Well, technically, yes. Right. I'm sorry.
Got here talking common. Sorry, English.
Can I talk?
No, as not in your scorpion form.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Omar and like kind of tilt my head at him. Like,
well, there's a
what do you need?
There's a scorpion, Mr. Brown.
All right.
And
I
mean, it's been a while since I lived down in my home country, but I think I remember how to milk a scorpion. I'll give you a hand.
All right.
He comes around and kind of like grabs the tail and helps you like get. It's almost like I was
gonna saran wrap a bowl.
Yeah.
With the stinger in.
Yeah. So like as you get the saran wrap and you like get the bowl prepped, he's holding on to Petal's tail so that way Petal doesn't like have any jerk reactions and accidentally stab somebody else. And between the two of you, go ahead and give me a nature check to try and you can have the help.
Him and Rick.
Him and Rick. So you'll roll and you'll get a +4 on top of your modifier from the help action from Rick. So it turns into a 14, which is good enough. You guys are able to get Petal to pop into the saran wrap, and you see some venom leak out. And you got a nice little bit, enough to potentially make some anti-venom with. Hopefully enough, though only time will tell. Petal, as soon as that's done, just almost like a jerk reaction, you revert back to human form.
Okay. I start snapping my clothes back on. I don't know if they came off, but I got snaps on my clothes. No,
you were fully restrained by all of your extra legs by your clothes. Yeah, they snapped off.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown, you are fairly certain you do not have in this room what you would need to make a arguably magical anti-venom.
Mhm.
However,
Alright.
with your medicine check earlier, I will say that you've bandaged her up a little bit and got like an IV drip going that's kind of helping with the pain and kind of helping slow the spread a little bit.
Okay.
However, you will need to head down to your sanctum sanctorum to
That's good.
access your other stuff.
Alright.
Do you require assistance?
Yeah. I'm gonna go and try to make an antivenom out of this. Petal, would you come with me? Or I'm sorry, young man, would you come with me? Just in case we need more venom.
I kind of nervously look at Rick.
Rick's not paying attention to you. Rick is holding Lydia's hand and like dabbing sweat off of her brow.
Yeah, I can help you.
I appreciate it.
And you guys head down to the lair.
Ooh, I can see this.
Oh, what the fuck? I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, Omar learned from past layers that if you have books too close on the same level to where the experiments are happening, the books get damaged.
I feel you.
And so he found a way to keep the books safe by making a drop down ladder that's on a rotating rail and put the books up in like a silo.
Mage Hand is definitely going to be my next cantrip.
But yeah, go ahead and for the first part of this, we are gonna do a medicine check. Well, yeah, because medicine. Well, no, it'll be a. Let's do an alchemist tools check.
Oh.
That is. You kept that right now. Right.
Herbalism
Herbalism kit. Use your herbalism kit. Check.
Sure.
So +6 on a d20.
Mm-hmm.
With a 23, you head over to the one of the pantries. You open it up, and it's just a big rack of like hanging dried herbs, a bunch of little drawers with other stuff in them, and you just start pulling out, automatically knowing, all right, yep, I'm gonna need some of this. I'm gonna need a little bit of that. I'm gonna need some of this here. You head over to another cupboard, open it up, pull out a mortar and pestle. You've got a mixing bowl. You've got a KitchenAid that you plug in on one of the counters. And as well as like almost like a butcher's belt, but instead of like big like meat carving knives like you would have for a different part of the workshop, it's like smaller implements used for finer cutting. And you start prepping herbs and getting them into various amounts that you need them. And at one point you realize, okay, I can either do all of this myself, or I can keep doing what I'm doing, and I can have this young man start grinding up some of what I've gotten accomplished so far.
All right. Young man, would you like to help me out a bit?
I'm like super nervous because this looks like a laboratory, but I like come over anyway. And what do you need? I asked Omar.
Just need you to crush those up in the mortar.
Okay.
You see what looks like a tiny baseball bat and a little bowl.
Okay. So I start.
Go ahead and give me
I
a sleight of
start
hand
like
check.
trying to churn butter. I don't know what this is. What? Sorry.
Sleight of hand. You start just grinding them up, and fairly quickly you've got a pretty fine powder going. Omar, go ahead and give me an Arcana check. So you walk over to another cabinet. You mutter a little incantation under your breath to where you're pretty sure Petal doesn't hear it. And the magical lock on the cabinet dissipates. You open it up and you start peering through your cabinet of rare, more supernatural herbs and elixirs that you have. Some of which are very rare, to include the one that you are looking for, which is a mixture made of a couple different regenerative substances that you've come across over the years, hoping that they were life extending. However, they just seemed to be physically regenerative when it came to tissue.
Okay.
And after some experimentation, you found that this elixir that you made that has a couple of different ones combined together can actually help people with native regenerative healing kind of kickstart or boost that healing process. And so you pull that out, as well as the different herbs for one that's a known anti-inflammatory. You've got a painkiller, an antipyretic. You've got some stuff to help fight infections. And you start mixing all of this up with Petal's help. You've eventually got the mixture going in the KitchenAid, and it's almost like whipping it into a whipped cream like substance. Or I guess the better description would be a foam. So it's kind of like churning it into a foam. And go ahead and give me a let's look at your sheet. Give me a medicine check to see if you can spot the optimal time to... Okay, so with a 12, could have been better, but you still are fairly sure that you're close enough that it will still do the job. It just won't have the maximum effect you would have been looking for. As you pour that elixir that you'd made into it, you see a puff of kind of like purple light, and the foam turns a bright gold color, and then you add in the venom, and the whole thing starts to kind of sizzle. And for a moment, you're worried that it didn't take, as the entire pot, like all of the foam, turns this vibrant, nasty acid green color. And then all of a sudden you smell almost like birthday cake smell. And the green shifts into just a pale yellow foam. And you're fairly certain that we've got what we need.
All right, I think this will do it. You were a great help. Thank you. And we head up. I like motion, even though nobody can see it.
You guys head back up. You see that Lydia's condition has worsened. The wound is now almost twice the size that it was. You can actually see the bone of her collarbone.
Is this an oral thing or
Say that again?
the antigen? Is this going to be?
No,
Well,
it is a
administer it. I didn't know.
yeah, it's a foam that you just pack into the wound.
Okay, cool. All right.
So you apply that, and you take what's left of that elixir and you add it to the IV bag. And Petal, I'm gonna have you roll me a D100 to see how well Lydia takes this. You sit for a while, and finally it looks like her face relaxes and her fever breaks and her breathing starts to get a little bit better. Mr. Brown, you recognize this as she's gotten better. Things are progressing positively towards a treated patient that's going to make a full recovery. However, you are not out of the woods yet. That foam will need to continue to be applied at regular intervals for the next day or two.
Okay. All right. Looks like we made a lot of progress. But if I could ask for your help again in getting more venom, we can make some more medicine for her.
So you've got more than enough still in that bowl.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought you said we gave it all. Put it all in the IV.
No. The elixir that you had added some to it that helps with the regeneration. You were hoping to kickstart that lycanthropic regeneration a little bit harder.
Gotcha. treating her then?
So the other two, seeing that she's doing better, but knowing that
All right.
Rick's close proximity to her is aiding in that regenerative factor, Rick stays, and the other two pack members head out.
Oh, I see.
Petal, what do you do?
I stay just in case he needs anything else, and just to kind of really absorb the fact that like I did this, I guess, and I'm like just thinking about it.
What is it that you're thinking about?
I think about what Lydia said, and that that they have been helping me and everything, and then this is what I did in return to them. And she's right, that's probably why Bella doesn't want to come see me. And I start like wrestling internally about my moral whatever with veganism.
How apparent is it on Petal's face that they are having a lot of interpersonal turmoil?
Probably pretty obvious. I don't talk really unless I'm spoken to, because I'm like, I don't look at anybody. I'm so ashamed, and I know that like I know that they're upset with me, and I know that they have every right to be upset. And so I'm just I think I'm sitting on the floor in the corner with my back on the wall most of the time.
Mr. Brown, I do believe you are an insightful man.
Yeah.
So whatever Mr. Brown does with noticing that, as Rick has kind of fallen asleep holding Lydia's hand.
Mm-hmm. Lydia's like stable currently.
Yes.
Okay, so you said Petal was sitting by the wall.
Yeah, I'm like sitting in the corner with my on the floor with my back on the wall, and I got my knees up, and I got my arms are folded, and I'm kind of just like staring off.
Okay. So I come over. I guess I'll sit by the wall, but not like right next to you. Give you a little bit of space there. All right. The music is nice, but I'm having trouble thinking.
Oh, you can turn down. You can fix the volume of it. Oh.
Okay. So.
So how's school? No.
Like, all right. Haven't seen you with the pack before. Have you joined recently?
I've been
Did we? Oh, can we have done like introductions? So like, I know.
I would say kind of like the
Like after we gave the
the
medicine or something, I feel like I would have introduced myself to the new kid.
so I would say that like this is the first, unless you wanted to have like done it down in the lab while you guys were working together, or if you were just so focused that you hadn't thought about it.
I don't think I would have done it until the medicine was applied. So yeah, I guess would this be the first
yeah, I
time?
think I
Yeah,
was too nervous to talk to him too.
yeah,
Hmm.
and so the medicine got applied. You were very focused on her condition to ensure that you were seeing the appropriate signs, and this is like the first break where you felt that the patient did not need full attention.
Okay.
And so potentially that might have been like the first time you were like, oh, I know Rick. I've met the other two before. Maybe I remember their names. Maybe I don't. Um,
Hmm.
Lydia makes an impression. If you met her before, then you
Right.
would
Right.
know that's who that is.
Good.
But this young man is not somebody you've.
Okay. So I guess I reach my hand out for a crisp handshake. Uh, I'm uh, I'm Omar. Um, um, uh,
I know how I react with handshakes, but I'm trying to figure out how Petal. uh,
I mean, if you react poorly, let me know and
okay.
I'll try to react to it.
I think I wasn't really paying attention to you coming up, so then when you reached out to me, I kind of like jumped a little bit.
Sure, sure. Okay. So I guess I'd put my hands up. I'd just sit down, I'll give you a little distance. Um, can I ask what happened?
Like with Lydia.
Yeah.
Um, I messed up. I wasn't taking care of myself how I should, and we got into an argument about it, and I lost control.
Okay. Um, well, you were a great help with making the medicine. You're a natural. Um, I'm sure whatever happened with Lydia um, well, wasn't malicious. So
Oh my god. Sorry.
hmm, what?
Oh,
I
that's not supposed to be able to be seen.
I thought I was doing the right thing, but obviously I wasn't.
There's a saying. Um, I don't. I think it'd be kind of cringy if I said my good friend Maya Angelou. No, but yeah.
That's crazy.
uh,
Well, I don't read a lot of books, so I don't know who that is. So
You've
I
got it.
just assumed it was your neighbor.
Okay, but like Petal is a college graduate. Petal would have probably heard of Maya Angelou.
Well,
Like that's required like middle school reading, I think, if I remember correctly.
Well, anyway, the quote is, "Do your best until you know better, and when you know better, do better." I don't think that you got into this situation because you were actively trying to do something wrong. But whatever your intentions were, you're at least a step closer to doing what you need to avoid um, whatever your previous mistakes were. Right.
yeah. I kind of ponder on that.
As is there anything else that in this moment, like pondering on that, having said what Petals said, where Petal decides to elaborate potentially on anything or mention anything else?
Maybe it's kind of hard because I'm a different. Like I didn't know about. I just learned about this, and then I'm a different kind. So then they're also learning about this, and it's all hard. But I don't know.
Um, could you
Could I what?
uh when you said this in my head, it was like you gestured towards all of me. Like, what are you talking about when you say this?
Well, like, is it safe to assume that I know that he's part of the masquerade, or like
Um,
he knows about it?
I mean, he just watched you
At
turn
this
into a
at this point,
scorpion.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
By this point,
You saw
I say
him
it.
make some kind of magical werewolf helping anti-venom, and Rick was very open with the fact that Lydia's healing factor wasn't kicking in, and he brought you guys here instead of to a hospital. So I would
Oh yeah,
say,
that is kind of weird now that I think about it. 3 days later.
who
I mean,
came to the
it's still
funeral
the
though? You
it's
thought
still
it
the
was
same
different
night.
for Lydia.
It's still the same night.
Oh, I'm like, maybe I could ask him like, "Are you part of the pack? Like, what's your what's your faction? What street do you represent?" Type.
No, I'm not part of the pack. I'm uh I guess you can consider me a I don't know, concerned party. Um, but
What do you work with the humans that like know about the stuff?
I work with some humans. I work with all sorts.
Have you ever met
Mhm.
someone who can shift? Someone, I mean, a lycanthrope that can shift into more than one animal.
Um, not specifically a lycanthrope, but I've I've been around a while. I've seen people that can turn into animals. Uh, I'll admit that that scorpion was a new one for me, but
Yeah, I haven't seen another scorpion one before, but I got a couple. I got a couple more under my under my belt, and it's interesting, I guess.
yeah, well, um, I guess we've all got something unique about us.
Can I say that? I don't know, like how long you want this to go on or
As
whatever.
long as you guys want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Oh,
I want to ask about his laboratory.
Omar,
Like, you got a lot of weird stuff in there.
are you like sitting on the wall in the open coffin over there?
a wall in the open coffin over. uh, yeah, I can't. Okay, hold on.
It's like leaning
Um,
back, kicking back.
I. How ironic would it be? Sure, yeah, why not?
This is actually his bedroom. No.
Yes.
I was just wondering so that way if anyone else came and went through the door, if they'd be like walking
Yeah,
directly by you.
I'd be facing in the direction of the entrance for sure. That's just. I guess it's easier to talk to people when you're looking directly at them too, or like facing them. I don't want to hurt my neck.
Yeah, it'd be a shame to get a muscle strain.
I know, right?
Mr. Brown's real prone to muscle strains. To the lab.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, right, the lab. Okay.
And like, you got a lot of interesting stuff in there. When I
Oh,
say like, I don't think it's interesting. I think it's suspicious.
right, right. Okay. Yeah. I've got a few baubles. I've been around for a while. Um, you pick up some things, but I'm mostly in the business of healing.
I nod at that. I'm like, was I was made in a lab. It looked a little different than that, but it was this lady that could. I thought she was like a normal person, but it turned out she could change her appearance, and it was a really rude way to enter the masquerade, I think.
Yeah, I could see that. Um, I'm not sure how open we're being here, but
But you don't do stuff to hurt people, is what I'm trying to.
I don't do stuff to hurt people.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've hurt a few people. Um, no, I prefer to heal people, but sometimes hurting people is the more practical decision.
Yeah,
Um,
hurt people who hurt people because hurting people is wrong.
tell them, tell them. um, but yeah, I guess it's kind of a common occurrence with people being able to change form. Uh, it could be I could see how it could shake you up just if you're relatively new to the masquerade.
I kind of like squint at you a little bit with the hurting people, but then I look over at Lydia and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, well, yeah, fair.
I don't want to pick at you about that, so I'm not gonna say. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't hurt people for no reason like that. No, no. But,
That's
Just talking
crazy.
shit. No. What?
that's crazy.
Oh, I thought he said Lydia stopped breathing. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, why didn't you or why did you look at the meat like that? I mean, besides it being frozen, I guess.
I kind of laugh, and I'm like, I I'm a vegan, and it's not it's difficult.
I could see that a vegan liking would be a pretty tough sell.
I thought that if I tried to figure out a way to be okay without eating meat, then I wouldn't be hurting animals and stuff. But I hurt people, so
I
that's
mean, that's noble, but maybe use the sources or the resources that can help you and while doing that look for a way to get around it.
yeah. I've been thinking about that. Like, gonna have to figure out a way to balance it or something. I don't know. But I can't let this happen again. This is terrible. And they didn't have to take me in, and they did, and I'm a little bit of a problem. So I feel like if I pay back Bella and Rick and everybody, the best way would be to take care of myself.
Um, jeez. Um, can I get up and check on Lydia?
So as you get up, you hear a really weak voice say, "It's not just your fault." Um, and you realize Lydia has weakly regained some semblance of consciousness. Um, her stirring uh, wakes Rick up. If you'd like to insight check how asleep he's been for how long, you're welcome to. Um,
Me
but
or Omar?
either one of you. But Lydia says, I provoked Petal. I was upset. I took it too far. It's my fault. I knew that they wouldn't have as much control. I lost control and provoked them. It's just as much my fault for doing that as it is Petal's fault for lashing out. And what I said about Bella was uncalled.
Um,
Uh,
Oh, you go ahead. I'm sorry, my
Oh.
thing turned off. Hold on. All right, I'm ready.
I'm like, can I like jump up when I hear her and like come over here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's fine. If I had been taking care of myself, I would have just, I would have just uh, kicked you normally instead. But this happened, so it. You're probably right too. That's probably why she doesn't come back to see me anymore. But just don't worry about it. Just focus, rest, get better, please. And we'll go back to the zoo, and it'll be great.
I, I'm fine. She goes to like try and sit up, and like she can barely lift her own head. She is extremely weakened. Rick kind of squeezes her hand and says, Lydia, rest. Take your time. Relax. Be all right. I get it. I understand. And I'd already figured from the way things were when I came in the room that, as he says that, he like eyes the partially shredded t-shirt that Petals wearing. Um,
My style.
and says, I figured that it wasn't just Petal losing control. We'll get it figured out. And I think that hopefully there's been some growth in this situation. And we can move forward stronger for it, though it will be a pain in the balls to get the rest of the pack to take a breath and understand the situation, seeing as it's not like a normal fight. We've broken up fights before. People heal. They're all right. Due to Petal's unique nature, however, this one may stretch some good faith, but we'll get it figured out.
I like nod, but I'm like looking at the floor.
Omar, did you see my message
Uh,
in Discord?
okay, hold on.
That was to your insight check,
Okay.
which was a nat 20.
Oh shit.
Crazy.
Balancing out that one, baby. As you guys, so like it's you can see dawn starting to break outside the window, and as you guys are having this conversation with Lydia, you hear the back door open, and footsteps coming your way, as well as another noise that's something like footsteps.
Oops.
And Andy, Rick's partner, comes in with a very concerned looking Hank.
What the fuck? Oh. I
Oh
was-
my god. I like roll my eyes and I'm like, oh my god.
And you just see Hank like and he goes over and he like looks on the table to make sure Lydia's still breathing, comes over and like pats you down a little bit, Petal. And with that, we are gonna go ahead and take our first break. So we will be right back. All right. Well, so the gorilla and Andy come on into the treatment room.
Oh, I have a question. Sorry. When you say partner, do you mean like husband or like a second alpha type?
Husband.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Who talking about? Andy and Rick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're roommates.
They are indeed roommates. You're not wrong.
They just like having sleepovers. It's all good.
You hear Andy go, "That is what we tell my mother."
Oh, Andy.
You poor lad.
He's fully joking. He's
Yeah.
just very concerned, hand on Rick's shoulder. looking over at Lydia, looks up and says, Omar, nice to see you again. Oh, and I apologize for Hank. He was inconsolable when I checked on him at the zoo this morning, and so I figured it was best just to let him come, make sure his friends were okay. For some reason, he's become very fond of Petal. Actually,
I'm like annoyed, but I'm holding my arms out so that he can pat me down or whatever. I'm like, I'm fine.
actually, this would probably be easier. And you see Andy wave their hand, and a little bit of magic happen, and you hear Hank go, "Damn, Petal, you look like you got hit by a tree."
Like, think.
I mean, like, trees are dangerous, man. They only got like 2 moves, but they're dangerous. They got the one where they fall down. But people yell timber, so they generally get out the way. But then they got the roll. They start rolling. They run over like 9 damn people. Trees are dangerous.
I'm like looking at Omar, like, see.
Hank's got it all figured out.
Like, yeah, well, I guess I should stop hugging him so much. Trees. Tree hugger.
That was not only that. That was fucking quick. Lydia didn't see that. It was just like bam.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened, but I feel awful about it.
I won't be fucking with you. That's for sure. I thought she was scary. And he points to Lydia, and Lydia like laughs, but like immediately regrets laughing because of the pain. My uncle got stung by a scorpion one time. Rick goes, I think that's enough. Hank. I think we're good on the stories. All right, well, if you don't want to hear about my uncle and what happened with that scorpion. Also, that one about the scorpion. My uncle was a frog. About the scorpion and the frog.
Oh. I know that story.
You see Andy like cover their mouth, trying not to laugh, and Rick just roll like you're pretty sure his eyes, like the tendons at the bottom of them are gonna snap at how hard he just rolled his eyes. But Lydia gets another application of the foam. As you're applying it, Omar, go ahead and make me a medicine check.
Oh boy.
Scorpion stung my uncle and he swam right into an embankment.
There we go.
Go ahead and roll me one more d20.
Just a flat D20.
Yep, just a flat d20.
All right. Come on.
Here, can you see my thing?
Your thing.
You can just hit a random
my
check.
level.
You can just hit a random check too if you want to. It doesn't matter.
Oh no, my all my buttons disappeared for a second. Hold on,
Oh.
they're back.
Oh.
All right, 3. I think it's this one.
Yeah.
We were close.
God damn.
We were so close.
Oh.
If you'd have gotten 3 in a row, you'd have just won the game for the night. We'd have been done. Yeah.
I'll do better next time.
You healed her
yeah,
so good she
if-
turned into God.
If you'd have hit 3, Hank would have started doing more TikTok dances.
I thought you said he would have won the game. That doesn't sound
Yeah,
like
yeah. Let me go back.
He just started doing like end zone spike, touchdown dances. Lydia, like the flesh has grown back over her collarbone and healed up. You see that it's down to maybe about like a golf ball sized crater that is still healing at this point, whereas before it was about the size like a cantaloupe.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
But here in the next couple
Cantaloupe.
hours,
He was big as hell.
oh yeah, she is a big woman. She doesn't look it right now based off of the avatar we have on the table. But Lydia's a big woman.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it looks like she's gonna make a full recovery here in the next couple hours. Her healing factor should have regenerated the tissue enough to where. Sorry, I had to burp. She should be able to head back.
Great. You mean like they are okay to go back to the zoo or wherever?
Yeah, here in a couple hours, she should probably be good to head back to probably her place is where they'll drop her off.
Makes sense.
But yeah, is there anything else that y'all wanna chat or discuss at this?
Can I ask Omar if, like... So basically, I want to be better prepared if something like this happens again. Is there a way I can take stuff with me, or can I give you more venom to make stuff so that you have it here, or like, you know?
I'm fine giving you some a vial or two of the antivenom, assuming we have more of it.
So you guys just have enough to create what it was you guys created. But you guys could definitely try and make some more.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Back to the lab.
To the lab.
All right. So you guys, we're not gonna do another scene cut. However, you guys can go ahead and make me, Petal, make me a wisdom saving throw, and Omar, make me a medicine check.
Goodness.
Hell yeah. With a 22 and a 17, you guys have no problem making it happen.
And then I also want to give him I don't really know how like venom is stored or whatever, but I want to give him stuff so that I've never seen another were scorpion, but I want, as like a thank you, I want to give him stuff so that in case somebody else comes by too. I don't know if that's something that you'd want, Omar, but
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anything to help keep the people safe and healthy. Sorry, cat ran in.
a cat. I had a cat once.
No.
By the way, we're not talking quite as tall, obviously, but like think Matrona from Seven Deadly Sins.
Matrona. Oh, okay.
Like Deanne's like foster mom or sister or whatever. Yeah, just big, buff, jacked, blonde woman. She is the largest person in the room, even though she's laying on the table.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Their little heel off.
Besides Hank. But yeah, you're able to make another 2 batches with those rolls, and you give him another like extra dose of your scorpion venom, and yeah. As you guys come back upstairs, you see Lydia is sitting up at this point and kind of like moving her shoulder around, flexing it.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
Like I got hit by a tree. And she winks at Hank. Who's just if a gorilla could look smug, like he's sitting there with his arms crossed across his chest with just like a little smug smirk on his face. And Lydia looks at you, Petal, and goes, "That is the most on the ropes another member of the pack has ever gotten me. And so respect for that, but poison's kind of a cheap way to do it. I'd much rather have you fight me like a man the other way."
I'll keep that in mind.
Referring to your wolf form.
Yeah.
Just so that way nobody misunderstands that in a different way.
Oh, Jesus.
Not even
Lydia,
good.
please. We don't have time for this.
We have all the time in the world.
No, I don't think we do. No.
I just walk out, close the door.
I'm like, I'm rattling the doorknob. Oh, why? Open this. She's so big. Yeah, I'm like,
That's just always, Lydia. You do see yourself out? No.
I give Hank. No, my God, no. I give Rick the antivenoms that I got, and I'm like, I don't plan on it happening again, but just in case.
Can't be too careful. I'll say the wisdom. Speaking of wisdom, have we learned anything from this situation?
Yeah, I'm looking at the ground and I nod. I'm gonna start taking better care of myself.
Oh, I hope so. Well, I think that you and Lydia can go with Andy, get Hank back home, get rested up, and hopefully this is a start to you accepting that what we are is part of nature and part of the food chain, and that you need to ensure that in the same way Hank ensures he eats the right things for him, that you eat the right things for you because of what you are. And you see Hank start to dance and go, "It's bananas. Bananas. It's bananas."
I'll never understand you kids.
Give me a perception check. Petal.
Who?
And Omar,
Okay.
you're welcome to as well if you'd like.
I told you I wouldn't understand.
Um, Petal, you notice that Hank is wearing a pair of big red like rain boots. Um, and Lydia goes, "All right, Curious George, let's go," and pushes him out the door. And kind of pats you on your shoulder. And is quite obviously using Hank as like an assist to walk out the door. And Andy gives Rick a little hug and a peck on the cheek and heads out with you guys.
I walk up to Omar and I give him the handshake that he wanted earlier. I'm like, thank you again.
Uh,
You're
you
always
hear
welcome here.
and you hear Lydia go, "Thanks, Mr. Brown."
Anytime, Lydia. Um,
Well then, Rick pulls out his wallet and hands over the customary fee for a doctor's visit and says, if you got a minute, I don't think it would hurt to have a conversation about the upcoming renegotiations and pick your brain on it."
Shoot, what's on your mind, Patrick?
Well, I know that the House de Gaulle has, over the last year, grown quite exponentially in size. They are a little bit more restrictive when it comes to the number of personnel in a given area, due to the way that they feed. However, their territory has come to cover essentially the entirety of Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee, as well as Arkansas. And I believe personally that that is cause for concern, regardless of whatever Maximilian de Gaulle states. And you know, House de Gaulle is the vampire house.
Yeah.
Um, Additionally, the conclave not having a outpost here in the city makes it a little bit rougher for us to manage sorcerers and the like. However,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Did you say sorcerers?
yes, wizards, magic users.
Gotcha.
However, I still don't think that the juice is worth the squeeze on that one. I think that having them sticking their nose into business here in a more formal way than just a, hey, we've got a thing, we'd like some assistance, as we've been doing, is really worth the benefits of them having a more permanent presence here in New Orleans. I'm not sure what you, as a magic user who may or may not fall under their purview, feel about that.
Mm. Um, I don't really have any Sorry, what?
I was just clearing my throat.
Oh, I don't have any direct dealings with the conclave. Well, no more than anyone else.
No skin in the game there, so to speak.
Yes, you could put it that way.
Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Sure. God. I'm cursed with these.
I'm gonna say you can have advantage on that one because you rolled 2 nat 20s in a row. I'm gonna count that as a point of inspiration, which you can. That was very quick. All right, with a 12, much better. You. That was an insight, so it actually should have been a 13 because you have a +6 for history.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, sorry, I hit the wrong one.
You're good. I just was doing the mental math on the difference there, and it wasn't adding up. You actively avoid the conclave. They are very conservative and hardline when it comes to magic. They fill a role and a niche. They govern wizards and sorcerers, people who do a very specific type of magic. They view necromancy as a forbidden art. And the way that your life has been extended, you would be persona non grata with the conclave. In fact, the run-ins that you have had with them during major conflicts in the world that you have been part of, it took a lot for you to get out of them without winding up either disappeared into the mage prison that they run, or completely like disintegrated by some high powered, trumped up, egotistical shithead that thought he knew better. And so you fully want nothing to do with the conclave, and it's part of the way the accords were initially structured, were in part due to that feeling on your part of, hey, maybe we don't have these people here if we can avoid it. Like the one personal thing I'd like to avoid if possible.
Okay.
Rick then mentions, and I've heard that we've now got the summer and winter courts, as well as the autumn court, with representatives here, and whispers of a spring court standing up that may seek to have itself added in with the accords. New immortals from all over gravitating towards the city. We've got deities randomly popping up and causing problems. We've got deities randomly popping up, setting up shop, and just deciding they're gonna be teachers, I guess. It's a weird time, and I'm not sure what it means, but I don't think it means anything good.
Well,
Sorry,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Well, the masquerade's been around for a while. We've seen a lot. We'll keep adapting and reacting as we need to. Um,
I just hope that this isn't the supernatural version of Katrina, so to speak.
mm,
The city weathered a regular storm. I don't know how well it would weather that. Because it smells like a storm's coming, Mr. Brown. And you were here when the former Alpha moved into town, set up the pack. You saw the issues that he caused, supported me in change when I removed him for the betterment of the pack and the city. And so your counsel and your advice is always welcome.
I'm glad you still feel that way. I'll keep an eye out, and of course, you know that if you or the rest of the pack ever need any help, my doors are always open to you.
He pats your shoulder on the way out, says, much appreciated as always, and if there's anything we can ever do for you, don't hesitate to ask. And he heads out. Unless you have anything to say to him on his way out.
No, I think we're good.
You gonna retreat to your sanctum?
Yeah.
As you head down, you notice that you're not alone. Your
Oh.
arguably oldest friend is leaning against one of the benches, looking at a bowl of were-scorpion venom, like just kind of swirling it. And he goes, my, that was an eventful night. Huh.
Yeah, it's you when you've been around as long as as we have, the still surprising that you can see something new.
Yes, that young man is gonna be very interesting to watch. I have a feeling that I will see him often.
Uh, um, well, hopefully he won't see you.
Eh, Well, he wasn't on the list today. So, small blessings, I guess.
Take what we can.
I thought the girl was going to be, honestly. She was written in pencil, so easy to erase. So, now, what do you plan on doing? Anything interesting?
Um, the the masquerader, we're having like a meeting.
Yes. Been constant meetings since a year ago when that humane woman asked us to meet for drinks at that abominable speakeasy. I personally have nothing to do with it as I am not a resident of New Orleans.
Mm.
But I do not begrudge you having to be part of that situation. Was there
Mm.
something on your mind about it that you wanted to talk about?
Um, Patrick said he thought a storm was coming.
Storms are always coming and going. Only difference is the size. I cannot say for certain. I can tell you, though, that the Vatican has sent a replacement to the church here.
Mm.
There has not been a member of that order of the church stationed at St. Louis Cathedral in what, 150 years? And there's been much more traffic down at the blacksmith's pub than usual. So I would say that the forces of heaven and hell are agitated, potentially, or also mustering forces, potentially. Though
Mm.
I can't say for certain.
Um, I don't know. I have bits of information, and I don't. I'm having trouble putting them all together. Um, But instead of talking politics, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm great as always. I will say that Mr. Red was very, very annoyed with the developments that your government has had in the Middle East and the way things are dying down. However, this whole thing between Russia and Ukraine has him happier than I've seen in ages.
Red did always have a particular taste for that kind of thing.
Yes, he's hoping that that conflict winds up spreading a bit. He's getting bored with the fact that we've gone quite some time since the last Great War. Refers to the conflicts going on around the globe currently as minor league games.
Well, I suppose for you guys, it all seems terribly petty.
I wouldn't say petty.
Well, how about small then?
Is that how you've come to see it? You've lived through more than 2-3 times as much as any other human. It's not abnormal for immortals to start to view the squabbles and issues, wars, conflicts, desires that used to be a big deal to them in their original lives as such as they continue on their years.
I don't think I'm there yet. Um, I I think maybe I have more skin in the game than I like to admit.
Well, here's to hoping that you never get like that. Because that is when you lose your humanity. Always knowing when the little things are important. Always understanding that there is more to life than life itself. And appreciating the struggle. Now, I do believe it is getting around 10 o'clock, and it is Sunday. Speaking of maintaining your humanity and appreciating the little things, I I think there may have been a T-ball game you were thinking about watching.
Patricia's boys.
I mean, that is what you said. Just a friendly reminder.
Thank you. I almost forgot with the excitement of today.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you don't need sleep then, huh?
I guess I start um, getting ready to head out.
Start hand cranking the Model T. I don't know if you saw them on the stream. I could pop back over to it real quick, but those cars geeked me out.
Yeah, I saw him on the left here.
The hearse and the mobile boys. But yeah, so
Quite
you
the collection.
head off to Sunday T-ball. Watch a great game as you see your great. I'm not gonna pretend to know the math on it off the top of my head right this second. Granddaughter,
Gotcha.
and her two young sons out at one of the parks over in the 9th Ward. And the boys being young boys and just having a great time playing t-ball, mom cheering on the side. And you are reminded a little bit about the little things and start to wonder if maybe Mr. Gray has something similar that he looks forward to that keeps him in touch with the kinds of things that he was talking about. Back at the zoo. People are starting to come in. The exhibits are getting opened up. Hank's back in his enclosure. What's Petal doing?
Lydia got back to her place okay, and like I'm sure that she's okay.
Oh, Lydia has insisted on working today.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's
So I guess
she's coming out of the locker room in full like zoo khaki shorts and short sleeve button up.
okay. If she's insisting on working today, I guess I want to work with her just in case something happens, you know.
Lydia tosses an energy drink at you and says,
I catch it super cool.
go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Damn it.
Since you wanted to enunciate the super cool part. Yeah, all right, it's pretty cool. She looks at you and says,
bite the bottom of it and shotgun it. No, I'm just kidding.
She goes, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not a child or an invalid. You have a job to do, and it's a good thing you didn't try to shirk out of work because you didn't get any sleep last night. Just think of it as, paying back all the time you took yesterday from some of the other people.
Okay.
I think the elephant enclosure needs cleaned out. And Anders was supposed to do it today, and He looked really tired from having to come in and drive over and sit with us at the good doctor's place. So maybe you could help him out with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I put on my
And
uniform. Whatever.
Petal gets into their khakis and heads over and mucks out the elephant enclosure. You see out of the corner of your eye Hank over in his external enclosure dancing with the kids. Like he's dancing and they're dancing outside the bars. They're all like flossing or something. Everybody loves Hank the dancing gorilla. And the next full moon, the pack gets together and gets ready to go for its customary hunt. And there's a lot of tension. I'll say it's been 3 weeks. In that 3 weeks, how much of an effort has Petal made to take care of himself? Has made to eat meat and make sure that he's not putting people at risk?
I've been making basically like a meat slurry that I can drink really fast. And I've been it's not nice.
It's triggering my autism. I'm gonna be real. Like I can feel it in my mouth and I want to vomit.
That's how Petal feels when he has to eat.
Yeah, but you had to say
now you
slurry.
understand. Smoothie. Also has like spinach in it.
Is it a glizzard? What the fuck? Gross. That's disgusting.
And I've been like trying to get it in me without like
getting it on someone else.
Yeah. But I've been I've been diligent with it. But like when I eat regular food, I still eat vegan. But I've been taking it, I think of it as like my medicine. And I try to make it look as not meat as possible.
Give me a... How do I want to do this one? Give me a animal handling check.
Ugh.
So you are trying, right? In your own way. And it's noticed that you're trying. And you feel better. And so because you feel better, you think it's enough. But just having a meat smoothie once a day, like the sparse meat that you're putting in it, isn't enough. It's better than nothing, but you're not like famished to the point where you are losing control. However, you are still constantly hungry, and your muscle tone and definition reflects that. There's times at work where you wind up accidentally like getting a cut or like hurting some other way, and your healing factor is exponentially slower than the other members of the pack. And while your effort is noticed, that too is noticed.
Okay.
Night of the full moon comes along, and as everybody's getting together, they do kind of like the opening. Like, think of it almost like, have you ever seen, like, did you watch Vikings?
The first season, yeah.
Like when they all got together in the hall and talked. Think of it kind of like that, like a moot.
Okay.
The pack gets together. Rick gives any information that he has to give out, and then like everybody else has like a chance to speak and say things, bring anything up. Rick comes up in front of everybody, says, I'm sure all of you felt it earlier this month. Lydia did have a close call, but pulled through just fine and is healthier than ever. She's actually got a bodybuilding show that she's doing next week, so whoever's available, make sure you show up and support that. But yeah, I think that's all we really got to cover for this month. And Anders steps up and says, no, Rick, that's not all we need to cover with that. I get that Lydia provoked Petal, and Lydia is partially to blame for what happened to her, but Petal has not been doing the right things. Yes, they're making more of an effort, but anyone can look at them and tell it is not enough. And if something else happens, if one of the kids were on the other end of that, or if Mr. Brown wasn't around to help make an anti-venom, what would we do? And I get it, you and Andy don't have kids, and you see Rick, like the veins in his neck bulge. Lydia steps up behind Anders, grabs him by the shoulder a little forcefully, and you can see like her nails are extending a bit, and says, I would watch your fucking tone, Anders. What does Petals say or do?
I guess say like I could start taking my medicine more than once a day. I can see if that helps, but I am trying and I am sorry and I do want to be better.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. Because you have been trying and you made the conscious decision to actually start breaking Petal's vegan nature, I will give you advantage on that check.
Okay. Okay.
The
Thank you for that.
The game just is not happy with you.
Thrown away these days.
Fine. You bring down the biggest kill tonight. You go out, you bring down the helper kill. And by helper kill, you know that Anders means the one that gets shared with the pack members who are either too old, too young, or too injured or ill to get out and hunt. You handle the helper kill. You make sure that the people who are most at risk from you having these issues and not taking care of them are fed, and you eat your fill, and I'll be willing to see how the next month goes. And I'll back off.
Does it start like right after the meeting or what?
Yeah, so essentially the meeting, like everybody strips down and you guys are like way out of town, out in one of the nature preserves. So Andy is actually a druid and works Department of Parks and Recreation and knows like areas of one of the nature preserves where you guys can like get to and be away from regular people and be away from the chance of like harming any innocents while the pack goes out and hunts, in order to make sure that like any new members that are getting initiated into the pack, things like that, that maybe don't have like full control of the shift, can still get out, attempt to hunt. The pack kind of like puts them in their place, gets them where they need to be. So essentially, like once the meeting's done, everybody goes out, gets in touch with their primal side, and yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I'd be able to do it because I haven't been feeling well.
You hear Lydia go, "Feeling better than you were when you got me. I believe in you." She leans
I
over.
agree to do it because I feel like everybody's like looking at me, but I don't want to do it. But
Okay.
I say okay.
So Rick goes, and his tone is very angry. And you can tell that it's directed more at Anders than at you for forcing this issue right now. And he goes, then the matter's settled. Petal goes out, gets the helper kill, eats their fill. and this gets put to bed. I'm tired of fucking hearing about it. What form would you like to try and take?
I feel like the wolf form, because I think if I do the scorpion form, then I'd poison the meat, right?
Potentially.
Or no, maybe because Lydia was kind of right that the scorpion one was pretty strong, and I'm not confident in my strength right now. I'm gonna take the scorpion.
Okay, go ahead and give me a D100 to see if you're able to get the scorpion form. With a 47, it's not bad, but it's not what you wanted.
Okay.
And so it is going to be the wolf form. Something in you, as you go to shift, you try to touch that scorpion part of your mind. Because you felt like, because of how you personally feel about the scorpion form with the thing you saw it do to Lydia, you feel like it is the most beneficial in this one. It's your comfortable fallback in a tough situation, essentially. And as you reach out to it, you feel it is almost like shouldered out of the way.
Okay.
And that primal nature in you, the rage and anger about how big of a dick Anders is being, the fact that you don't feel like he's giving you enough credit for what you have been trying to do, the fact that he said some stuff that was pretty hurtful and unnecessary to Rick. And a part of you that knows a scorpion's not gonna be able to fucking track its prey.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And you need to track. And you need power, because if you're bringing down something big enough to feed more than just yourself, but other members of the pack as well, you need to bring down something big. And you burst into your wolf form. Not hybrid, but full-on, huge, dire wolf looking wolf form. Go ahead and give me a perception check at advantage to see if you can smell anything. You take a whiff and you scent 4 different things. You scent some rabbits. You scent a couple of coyotes. At least one gator, which out here there's probably more, and some white-tailed deer.
I think the gator's probably the biggest one, right?
Yes, the single largest animal, like per individual animal, would be the gators.
Okay, So I think I'd go for the gator.
Okay. You head out tracking this gator. Go ahead and roll me a D100 just to see how lucky you are on the size of this gator. I had low in my mind, so you got lucky there. I thought it was going to be a 72 at first, and I was like, oh no. Um, you pull up, and you see two big old 7-8 foot gators resting on the side of a low water area in the bayou.
Okay. I see two of them resting on the side.
Yeah, so like
Of the water?
they're up out of the water on like a mud bank
Mm-hmm.
with like their back legs and their tail still like in the water, but like their chest and their little gator arms and their heads laying up on the bank.
Would there be a way to like sneak up on them?
Oh, sure. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. As you make your way towards the gators, go ahead and describe how you're doing it.
So I want to like lower myself kind of and like slowly come up, and I also kind of want to see like which one looks. I want to see if one of them looks old, basically.
Go ahead and
Like,
give me a perception check.
okay.
On a natural 20, you see that gators can live for a really long time. And you see that both of them look older in years. One of them, however, looks scarred and battered and like it's seen a fight or seven.
Okay. I want to try and go for that one.
Okay, so you crawl on your fuzzy little belly, getting as close as you can. And as you go to pounce, give me a dexterity saving throw. Go ahead and roll me another 20.
Oh wait, no, that's not right.
Oof, we didn't get 3 in a row. You are able to narrowly avoid as you go to pounce at it, and its tail swings up out of the water at you. You're able to just like kind of like duck under the tail while you're in the air, hit the ground, roll away, and bounce up to your feet. Looking at the two of them, both of the gators hiss and move towards you on their bellies, pulling away from each other to kind of corner you out on either side. And with that, we are going to head into our next break. We will be right back. All right. We return as the gators are attempting to surround you. You feel what in this moment?
Uh, like I just need one. I don't want to be here. I just want to get one, and I want to go. I want to go home. I just need to do this one thing, and then everything will be fine.
You feel. So are you attempting to control this side of you that you're tapping into with your wolf form, or are you attempting to give in a way?
I think I see the situation I'm in, and I'm like, all right, I need to like go vegan ham a little bit. So I guess I give the reins up a little bit.
Um, as you touch this primal, angry, savage side of yourself, you feel a little pull, like spiritually. And through that pull and that connection, you feel a connection to nature. Something that you have tried to find your entire life. Something that you remember Bella talking about. The way that she felt being out among the trees, the way she felt just being out in the wild in nature. And for the first time ever, you realize that what you thought she was talking about and what she, now you understand what she was talking about. And what you thought and what it is are two very different things. You feel a oneness with nature. You see the ecosystem of this swamp. The fish, the rabbits, squirrels, other small game. You see the gators, the predatory fish, hawks, eagles, coyote. You understand the connections. And you see where humanity is desynced and decentralized from that chain of nature, but where you and the pack are sitting atop this food chain and this pyramid. Not so far up that other predators are no different to you than a rabbit is to them, but you are a rung above them. And whereas people talk about humans being the epitome of the food chain, you realize that that is a complete misnomer. Humans are now, as a species, outside of the few people who still live a hunter-gatherer lifestyle and do their hunting in a more natural way, they are desynced from this primal part of nature. you are no longer desynced and taking from nature. You are a part of the cycle. And you feel the earth itself kind of reach up to help you. The mud around the feet of the gators becomes a little bit slicker. You see an opening. Go ahead and make me a athletics check. You pounce on the first gator. What do you do to it?
The old one or the younger one?
So they're the same age. That's what you found from that natural 20 perception check that you had. They look like they're about the same age. The other one just looks very scarred and like it's had a lot of territorial disputes.
Okay. And they're like the same size?
Yes, they are roughly the same size.
Okay. My goal for it is to go for the throat so I can kill it as quickly as possible.
Okay. Natural wolf instinct initially takes over. You go to bite the back of the neck, whereas a wolf would bite the back of the neck, try and shake its prey, snap its neck. You realize this is not going to work with a gator.
Mm.
So you claw at its eyes in an attempt to get it to shift its body weight and expose. As it does, you slam yourself into its side. Give me a just a flat dexterity check to see how well you're able to maneuver and pounce before it's able to make a full like 360 back onto its stomach. It rolls. As it goes to tip over onto its side to flip back down onto its stomach, you're already on top of it. And you are sinking your jaws into the soft side underneath where its neck's at. And you just rip its throat out. However, as you are savaging this one, you feel an iron-like vice clamp down on your arm. Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw. You are able to barely keep yourself from being dragged into the water as it attempts to pull you in and start a death roll.
Oh no.
And the only reason you are able to do this is because you dislocate your shoulder.
Oh no.
Slip. You're able to slip as it goes to pull. And as this happens, you see vines reach up out of the water, wrap around the top of its snout, prying the mouth open, and you quickly slip your arm out, standing on 3 legs. You see the vines wrap more around it and roll it over onto its back, keeping it out of the water. Its neck is exposed.
So I'm trying to think, like, I don't want to kill the second one, but I'm also like, if I do, then I'll have 2 to bring back. But I don't know if that would be too greedy of me. If that, like over hunting, so to speak.
Give me an insight check if you would like some assistance with that decision making. You think about past helper kills. It's not unheard of for more than one large animal to be taken down in order to ensure that people are fed. Additionally, people who wind up with a smaller kill are doled out some extra if somebody gets a kill that is bigger than their fair share. The pack is not greedy, and the pack makes sure that everything is used, does not go to waste.
Okay.
You know that as the hunt concludes and you guys eat and do all of that other stuff that the pack does, the night gets concluded with you guys doing almost like a ceremony to thank nature for its bounty and ensure that all of the pieces are used and properly taken care of and nothing is like wasted and disrespected.
Okay. I guess I could also view it as I kind of owe more to the pack because of my feed dragging. So I will go to also kill the second one.
Okay. It's a quick, clean kill. It doesn't have the ability to fight back. It is completely and totally wrapped up in these vines. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you finish the kill. And Jesus, you and these
That's crazy. Hit one with nature. Hell yeah.
You catch a familiar scent. And you look over into the tree line off to the right. And you see Bella standing there.
I'm just standing there, filthy arm dislocated, dangling, blood on my face, and I'm like,
still in wolf form.
Oh,
Bella looks at you.
Bella, where the hell you been, loca? Right.
I mean, you're in wolf form. You can't talk.
Oh, damn it.
Bella looks at you, smiles, puts a finger up to her lips, and says, "Our little secret." Waves her hand. The vines untangle from that second gator, and she disappears off into the forest.
I can't go after her or anything.
I mean, you're 3-legged right now. You can attempt to.
Yeah, I'm trying to wait, Bella, wait, please, I miss you so much.
Go ahead and give me a survival check. Like I said, your healing factor is slower than other people's. You're able to maintain the scent, but you start to notice vegetation actively growing up to impede you.
Okay.
Almost like
stop
she's
and go back then.
Yeah, like she's trying to stop you.
Yeah. So I'll take note of that and I'll go back.
Okay.
How am I gonna get 2 full bull alligators back?
Go ahead and make me a strength check.
I'm not. Is right.
Um, you're able to tug the one up out of the water and get it next to the other. But you're already realizing that like that took a lot out of you, and you didn't have a lot in the tank. You knew that.
Okay. Can I call out,
You
or
can
can I eat
have.
some of it, or do
I
I have
mean,
to call first?
you can do both if you want.
Okay,
Have it.
so I'm gonna give a awoo, and then I'll
Uh,
take I'll eat some of it so that I can try and get my leg fixed.
um, so it's already kind of like popped back into place. You do feel like
Oh, okay.
uh further like ligament damage that may have been done start to heal up a little bit faster as you dig in. And you realize
Do I
that,
have throat in my mouth?
huh?
Do I have like a piece of throat in my mouth or whatever?
I mean that's up to you what part you wanted to grab and snack on.
Oh, I meant like when I ripped it out originally.
Sure, if you want to have
Okay.
kept a piece of throat in your mouth.
I guess I just started. I'm like, oh, I have some of it, so I just chew on it. But I kind of want to wait till people show up so that they see that I'm actually eating something, too.
Um, you also realize that gator is actually kind of fucking tasty. Um,
It is. I've had it before, actually.
yeah. Maybe you could get used to being a lycanthrope in Louisiana. Um, a huge Kodiak bear comes lumbering out of the tree line with a small like doe in its mouth. The doe drops to the ground, and if a bear could look astonished, it would. And you hear Lydia's voice in your mind because the pack is able to telepathically communicate.
Mhm.
Damn, boy. I was right. Hell yeah. And you and Lydia get the 3 kills back to like the main camp. And uh Anders is solidly annoyed at this, but begrudgingly doesn't say anything, lets it go. There's a lot of like clapping you on the back from the rest of the pack. The kids and some of the elders are super excited. It's been a while since somebody nabbed like a gator as a helper meal. Normally it's just like deer and other easy to catch like herd animals and prey animals.
Mhm.
And so people are solidly happy with Petal. Um, do you eat until you're full, like requested in the deal, or what do you do?
Um, yeah, but I think I'm gonna have to like blindfold myself or something. It makes me a little uncomfortable.
For the first time in a long time, you feel full, you feel strong. That little tug spiritually towards nature is still there. As you look around and see the pack happy and like a big family, something that you never really felt with your stepmom and your steps and your half sister. Um, you almost kind of realize it for the first time. because every other time you've been out on a hunt, you've been so focused on not. And as you look around, you see off in the tree line the smiling face of Bella disappear. And as you guys the next morning get up and get ready to head back to New Orleans, you find a note in the pocket of your jacket.
Okay, I want to read it.
I'm glad you're doing well. I'll be in touch.
Is she breaking my house?
No, like you guys were camped out in the forest.
Oh, okay. I was like, God,
Yeah,
I
that's why
love
I
this
said
lady. Okay.
as you guys get ready to head back. However,
Oh, right,
you
I'm sorry.
are very curious how this woman is able to maneuver around with this many lycanthropes and not be smelt or seen or heard.
Mm-hmm. The vines are interesting too. Like, what the heck?
And you head home with a new lease on life, a new perspective on where you belong in nature, and hope that Bella will be in touch soon. Do either Petal or Omar have anything else they want to cover tonight before we close up shop?
Let me double check something real quick. I'll be right back. Omar seems to be taking a long rest, so I don't think so.
All right. Well, then we will see all of you guys next time, where hopefully we meet the final member of the party and see what kind of individual they are. Catch you guys next time.